Thank you for coming. Coach Haynes is joined by junior wide receiver Charles Chandler.
Again, coming off of a really a disappointing loss in OU, we did not play very well. We came back as a coaching staff and kind of looked at, and which we do every game, kind of looked at, the short week, how we handled the short week, how we practice, everything that kind of led up to the game, and we just didn't feel as a team that we handled that short week very well, just because we didn't put our best foot forward in a game that we needed to. We talked about it. We went out and we practiced this morning. We talked about it as a team that it still comes down to preparation and execution, and we didn't do a very good job of execution. The hard part is us as coaches, we have the advantage to come back and watch the film and see it from a different point of view. But it's just a play here, it's a play there, it's a guy doing, a right or wrong thing at this point in time, and so much stuff could happen differently, and we're not doing those things. And we have a small margin of error, right now in everything that we do. So we just got to make sure that we continue to work, continue to execute, continue to do a lot of things that we're not doing well. We got to do them better for us to be able to win these football games coming up. So they're both winnable games and they're losable games. It just depends on how we execute out there on, that giving night.
You kind of mentioned going in that you thought you had two of the most energetic practices of the season. Did you see it coming as far as once you got there? Could you kind of sense this coming? Or?
I sit there, and again, it's all hindsight after you go back, on it. But, I kind of got a little nervous on the bus ride down there. It's easy when it's daylight and you got to drive an hour and a half. But when it goes dark and you turn around and you see mostly everybody kind of just really chilling and relaxing, I got a little nervous. And that was the first time that's happened, that we had a long bus ride that it was dark out, and it's even I'm talking about previous years that we had to drive a bunch and it was dark, and I was just like, it's kind of like you are right now. It's 5:30, but it's dark out, so you feel, worn out and tired. Just, that's not an excuse. It was just one of those things that I thought in my mind going down there. It was just like, I didn't feel good about it. If we have to go to Athens again, we gotta figure out something that we can stay closer, and give up the meetings, give up the food, give up whatever it is just to stay closer, and not have that long bus ride.
You said you practiced this morning?
Yeah.
So you went back to morning practices?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we went back. We went back this morning and went out in the cold, and just went out just for about an hour.
Okay. Was that kind of in the plans, or was that an adjustment? Because I know you went evenings heading into the last game.
Well, the only reason we went evening last week was to really give them. I mean, if we would have went in the morning, we would have been less than 24 hours back on the field after the game. So you wanted to back it up to give them as much time after the game to kind of relax. But this was always the plan, to go back in the morning this week, because we got the natural 48 hours off after the game.
Okay. Just starting offensively, obviously in a rut right now. What do you do at this point to kind of get out of it?
And again, this is, from the big picture, from, outside looking in, it's just like, well, they're terrible. They don't do this, they don't. But when you watch it, the film from the eye in the sky, I mean, there's a bunch of plays that we're just leaving out there, and it's a block here, it's a block there. We had a screenplay it was 10-7, that we sit there and we practice to Raquan James, and it's just the angle the lineman took, that the corner made the play. If the corner doesn't make the play, I mean, there's no one else there. It's a touchdown. But those are the things that you go back on the film that we are able to watch, that it's just – and again, our margin for error is just so small that we got to make those plays and we got to do those things. It just comes down to execution. So, you don't sit there and sell the house and go go, well, let's go to wing T. You know, I mean, we're not doing that. We just got to do what we're doing, you know, better and execute a little bit better.
Charles, from your perspective, what do you think the offense is kind of lacking right now?
Just like Coach said, it's not anything. We just got to execute on game day. We're doing everything in practice that we're supposed to do. We run it every day. And we just, when it comes to game day, we just got to do the same thing. And I think we're not doing that right now. Like he says, a missed block here, drop ball here. So we just got to execute on game day and do what we do in practice.
Are you guys okay, man? I mean, it's got to be tough to kind of go through something like this. Mentally, do you feel like people are still into it? People are all right as far as that goes, still chugging away?
For sure. I mean, it's always hard to lose. I mean, and not go out and execute like you do in practice. So, I mean, obviously you get down a little bit, but, I mean, we stick to plan, listen to what the coaches have to say and what we need to fix, and we go out there and play. So,
wanted to ask you about the one play in particular, 10-0, when you tried, I'm not sure what you called, but when you had George over and with the lineman, well, I think it was Fackler actually that snapped him the ball.
Yeah.
First of all, just the line. I mean, I think you had just gotten your first down in quite a while.
Mm-hmm.
You're only down 10-0 at that
Right.
point. Just kind of the thought process going into the play first.
Right, but it's the same thing. If you know, if he does what he did in practice and just moved over to the left, George, there's no one there. You know, and it's a big gain of 25. You know, and that's the hard part. Those are things that are happening to us right now that it just comes down to little things of execution, and we just got to do a better job on it. And, you know, again, we can go back and watch those things and sit there and try to get them fixed, but, I mean, it's wide open. You know, it's a wide open play, and it's a good play. It's just we didn't execute it very well. So it turns into, you know, a very bad play, and looks, you know, again, it's just like going for two. You sit there and you make it, it looks pretty good. You don't, you look like a donkey. You know, and that's one of those situations that even if the kid knocked it down, you had another down. Well, he picks it off and he runs it back to the 11, and it's like, what are you doing? But if you execute it right, it's a big play.
It's supposed to be the earnest kind of dragging.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, if you watch it on tape, there's absolutely nobody within 15 yards of him, you know, if we execute it right.
I guess, did you kind of consider it, as far as trick plays go, kind of a low percentage of a
No.
bad? I mean, because it's just the question is, it's 10-0 at that point.
Yeah.
Just kind of knowing the way you try to hang in the game. There's
Yeah.
many bad things that have happened up
Right.
to that point. It's still 10-0. Okay, and then that happens, and it just kind of takes you out of it. I mean,
Yeah, but again, we tackled him, and we got to stop him, you know. But again, you go back to executing the play, and you're sitting here asking me, that was a great call, you know. So it's just one of those things that we didn't execute it right, and it turned into a bad play, you know. But it's a high percentage play. That one right there, that happening there, I mean, I'd still call the play again and not think that the dude was going to intercept it, you know. Even if you throw it in the dirt or whatever, it's just one of those things that happen. But as far as the play, again, if we execute it right, it's a gain of 25 or 30, you know. So I didn't consider it a true triple reverse trick play type deal that, you know, you sit there, something you really blow up. For that play to blow up like it did, I mean, it's 1 in a million that it would happen that way.
but like you said, okay, then the defense comes back out, can't get the stop.
Yeah.
I mean, you kind of had a hard time. The offense kind of gets all the attention. Your defense really did not play.
We
300
didn't.
yards rushing. I mean, you kind of.
Yeah, and the 300 yards numbers-wise was a little skewed because probably 150 of it was quarterback scrambles, you know. So that was a little bit skewed as far as the rushing, deal because, really their two longest gains were the quarterback scramble and the one at the end where we're trying to all-out blitz and, he gets us around the edge. So, but we did not play very well. We did not play the style of defense we've been playing. And that's where we sat there and we talked to our guys. Regardless of what's happening on the offense, they're scoring on us. So those are the things that we have to stop, and we got to make sure that we're not reverting back, to previous years of just losing focus and losing concentration. And that's what we did in that game. I mean, we lost total concentration and total focus and was giving up stuff that we normally don't give up. And again, the room for error is so small that when a big play happens, now it's a big deal, instead of just, hey, let's get back, we'll stop them, we'll do that. It wasn't that feel in that game.
Flipping back to offense real quick, has anybody kind of emerged as somebody? I know you got your freshman that you're wanting to get the ball to.
Mm-hmm.
Trayon seemed to run the ball pretty well when
Yeah.
you got it. You kind of identify some guys that you want to get it to more at this point, or just kind of?
No, I think
Same
it's
people,
I
same
think it's the same people, same situations. Again, and I know it's hard. It's hard for you guys. I know it's hard but when you come back and you watch it from a different, not the TV copy, and a different point of view. And again, it's just, I know I sound like a record, but it's the execution of it that has to be a little bit better. And if it gets better, and when it gets better, we'll see production, out of it. But we're just not executing the stuff correctly right now to get it done. And, anytime that happens, we always sit there and talk about, instead of add more, you simplify even more, and do less so we can do it better. Because obviously we're not, doing those things, those little things right. So is it too much? So let's simplify with what we're doing and let's try to do it better.
I guess if it's just one person making this mistake, you make a simple adjustment, but it seems like it's not. It seems like it's different situations and different people, and that's what kind of makes it hard to.
Yeah, but this in the NFL, I can't draft a new one. I got what we got, so we just gotta coach it better and we gotta execute it better. And if those things that happen, we'll have different results.
Charles, just kind of talk about heading into the next one, and it's getting late in the year now. Obviously, it's a lot of goals you can't accomplish, but yeah, you got 2 left, and talk about what you feel going forward and how important these games are.
Like you said, we have 2 more left, and both are winnable games. We can't finish out the way we wanted to, but we still got 2 ahead of us, and we can finish on a positive note. So that's what we're really focusing on. We're gonna go out here and prepare like we would any other week, and hopefully execute on game day. So.
Can you just kind of talk about yourself personally? And you kind of came in and just kind of feeling your way and got kind of earned your spot now and playing a lot. Can you just kind of talk about that?
Just like any other player, I've been, just working. And when my number's called, then that's when I go out there and do what I can to give our team the best chance to win. And like you said, Coach called my number, so I'm just doing what I've been coached to do and executing, I guess. So.
Seems like you guys get a lot of blocking responsibilities as wideouts. Is that something you'd like to do?
Yeah, coming from my background, the sales player, that's what I pride myself on, blocking. That's what I've known. So, to me, I love it. So I have no problem with going and block. I'll do it every down. As long as I'll do it for any running backs. So it's no problem with me. I love it.
It's nice to have guys with that attitude.
Yeah, there's no doubt. And he's, a humble kid, but he's probably made some of the biggest strides from day one, since I've been here to now. Because, again, and it's the maturity level, the work ethic, the everything has kind of improved. And really a kid that was really out of the mix, a year and a half ago, to one of the guys who, again, and it starts with that attitude, just doing what he has to do to make sure the team wins. And that's why I think he's, earned the spot, just because you see it. It's noticeable with his transformation from year 1 to year 2 to year 3.
Real quick, back to offense, just George's play overall, and I know you didn't pull him from that game, even though things were going bad.
And again, it's we've made the change. We're gonna stick with it. Every rep that he gets out there, I think he's only gonna get better. Again, a lot of the things, again, when you sit there and watch the film, I mean, the ball's there. We got to pluck it out the air. We got to make some catches. So he didn't play terrible. That one play, that you referred to was a bad play. But the cool thing about George is he comes over, he's calm. There's no panic in it. There's no, it's just he knew right away. And there's a lot of times when he doesn't have a very good play that he comes over and he knows exactly what he did. So there's communication with what he has to fix. So it's just time and patience. And, I know that's what we lack, is time and patience. But we just got to keep grinding it out, and keep working, and, good things will happen.
Have you had a chance to see Central yet?
Yeah, I've watched them. Tough, hard-nosed football team. On offensively, everything they do goes through their quarterback, and I think he's a very good player. He's probably one of the most underrated quarterbacks, I think, in this league. And you look, they're throwing it all over the place. John, with Bonamego's background of the NFL, being in the NFL so long, it's a little bit more pass-happy than run-happy a little bit, but they do a good job. They do a good job with what they do as far as tossing the ball all around the place. They change formations a lot. They don't do a whole lot with personnel changes with 11 and 12 personnel, but they try to form the same formations out of both and kind of confuse you a little bit. So, but I think he's a very good player. They got, solid wide receivers that go out and catch the ball very well. And the backs run hard because they know they ain't getting it, a whole bunch. And when they get their opportunity to get it, they run very hard. I got a lot of background. Me and John coached together, at Jacksonville. So I've known him for a long period of time. Their defensive coordinator, Greg Colby, was actually the defensive coordinator here when I was the assistant coach. So I've known Greg for a long time, and a lot of their assistant coaches have been guys that's been in the MAC, for a long time. George Rickenstrick and those guys. Archie Collins I've known, for a long time with just recruiting Detroit with his background at Cass Tech. So just very good, very well coached. Greg is one that's going to demand excellence. They're very physical, which is a normal Central Michigan football team. They're going to be physical on defense and just be sound, So a lot of what we've seen in these last couple of weeks is kind of what they do, also too. So it's not like it's something that you haven't seen, defensively against them. But again, just going to be another, tough, hard match that you can win it, or you can sit there and get blown out if we don't go out and execute. They're that good, a football team.
4-2 in the West.
Yeah.
As good as that. They've come a long way and struggled not too long ago.
Yeah. Yeah.
Kind of going in, what do you see as the keys?
Again, it still comes back to us executing, and it's really not about Central. It's about us getting back to the ways that, defensively, getting back to how we play, defense for sure. Which is sound, which is fundamentally sound, which is focused. That's what we got to make sure that we do. And again, they're gonna complete balls. And we can't get frustrated with them completing a pass here or there. We just got to, get back to the huddle, play the next play. Offensively, it still comes down to, again, execution. We got to execute. And, again, our room for error is so small that every play that we have an opportunity to make a play, we got to make it.
Did you come out of OU pretty healthy?
Yeah, Terrence Wall. We'll see how Terrence does during the week. But he was the only injury.
All right.
Okay.
Charles, can you talk a little bit about some of your seniors on the team, what they've done for you guys over the years, and what it would mean to send them out with a W on their senior night?
It's big to obviously send the seniors out in the way. With 2 wins at the end of the season. I love them like my brothers, so whatever I can do to make their senior year better, because I know they've given everything to us as a team. So sending them out the right way is the only thing that matters at this point. So.
My question was for you. So what are some key things that you guys have been working on in practice since, like Coach said, last game you guys lacked a little bit in focus. So what are some things that you guys been doing in practice to stay focused to get ready for Central Michigan?
Each week is the same. I mean, we have our plays that we have to practice. We know what routes we need to run, what plays we need to run against their type of defense. And we got to just bring what we do in practice and focus on that and doing that like you do in practice and taking it to the field. So.
Anything else?
All right, thank you, appreciate it.